Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope that your week is going okay so far. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper. I am a full-time reseller out of North Florida. I say that every video, but I know some of you might be new. So this video is going to be what sold on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Etsy. We did have sales across all of the platforms, and we do sell on all those platforms as well as Whatnot. And this is a more bread and butter video. A lot of these items sold very fast and I sourced them very cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean like $1 or $2. So a lot of low cost items, if you're just starting out, these are really good items to look for, to pick up cheap and flip for a profit. And that is the whole goal with reselling, right? We are trying to make some extra cash. I am making a living. It is how I pay my bills. So hopefully these items are of help to you. And I'm going to show you a really cool thing that I've been utilizing lately with my list perfectly. And it actually shows me the percent of sales for the 4 platforms that we sell on. And I will show you 24 hours, we'll do a week, we'll do a month, and we'll do over the last year. I'm going to show you my true numbers, all live, happening now. Nothing to hide here. I do make a living from reselling, and I love helping others learn how to do so as well. So let's go ahead. I think I'm going to jump over to List Perfectly first and show you the little graph that just shows you the percent of sales coming from each platform. And then we'll jump on over to our eBay sales and also the other platforms. So this is super cool here. And what this is sales and analytics. And it is part of what comes with List Perfectly. So List Perfectly is a cross-posting software. I'm not really trying to push that right now. I do use them exclusively, but I love this feature. And I have just been looking at it because I think it helps me really get a good picture of exactly where my sales are coming from. So this is sales and analytics, and you can see for 30 days, 12,700, which is almost 75% of our sales have been from eBay. Coming in second is Poshmark, close to 15% with almost $2,500. Etsy's coming in at $930, and then Mercari's coming in at $855. So that is over the last 30 days. So it is nice to see this graph. Now, if I click on the last 24 hours here, look at this. How crazy is this? And I do not see many days like this. I'm not going to lie. But Poshmark today, over the last 24 hours, is at $289. It is 50% of our sales. Etsy is at 98, which is 17%, and eBay's at 192, which is 33. So I love having this graph, and I think this really goes to show you. And if I go, I'm going to go over the last year so you can see my complete numbers. So we have sold close to $200,000 between eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Mercari. And that does not include our Whatnot, our district knickknacks live sales. This is just static marketplaces. So we have sold almost $194,000 in the last year. And of that, eBay is almost 81%, $156,000 on eBay. Mercari's coming in last at 3.35% of sales, 6,500. Etsy is at 9,500, which is 5% of sales. And Poshmark is our number 2. Poshmark's coming in at $21,000, which is 11% of sales. So for those of you that don't want to pay the money out for a cross-posting service, I would say, look here, this is $37,000 in extra sales that we got by cross-posting. $40,000. I do pay $100 a month. So $1,200 into 37,000, no brainer for me, but really, really great feature of List Perfectly if you do use it. And now we'll move on over to our eBay tab and take a look at the sales there. All right, so here is our actual chart for eBay for the last 32 days. Today, as you just saw, we are at 192. For the last week, we are at 2722. We are up 25% over the last 31 days, which I'm happy about. We're getting better. That is what matters. My goal is 20,000 a month. We are only at 14,000 and we're only at 36 for the last 90 days. And I know a lot of you with smaller stores are saying, only what? I would kill to have those sales. Well, you have to take into account, I have 9,000 items listed. It has taken me 5 years to build up to this. So for me, this honestly is pretty low. So be careful when you're comparing yourself to other resellers. Make sure you're comparing apples to apples. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at about 20 or so items that make up part of this 2722. I did omit sales over $50. We'll save those for our high dollar what sold that we'll do next week. First up is this vintage Capitelli Parisian street scene. This is an art canvas, 8x10. I did put Y2K shopping and apartment, and it sold full price in under a month for $29.99. I got this in an estate lot, less than $2 into 30. So this one is actually going to be about a $22 profit. So I love picking up little artworks, especially if you can keyword them well. And this one you can see here is on the wood frame. So it could be hung just like it is, which is really nice. And this one was a really, really fast sale, again, in about a month. This Solvar Sterling Silver Celtic Cross really caught me off guard because I thought it would be worth a little bit more. But it's really important to keep in mind that what you think something is worth does not override what research shows. And research showed me that this was a $30 pendant. I paid $5 for this. And so this one is going to be about a $19 profit, but it sold in 3 months, which for jewelry is not that bad, especially with marcasite. Marcasite tends to be a bit slower. You can see it is very clearly marked Solvar and 925. Now I have found an experience that them being named does help sell them a little bit faster. Another fast sale. This one sold in a month. This is a vintage hand-painted girl in a blue dress from Arnart Creation, Japan. A lot of these are only worth about $10 to $15, but this one I found comps for at 25, and she sold at 25 really fast in just that month period. So she is about a $17 profit. And I see these at the thrift store all the time for $1 to $2. She's very small, 4.5 inches. I got her in an estate lot. I actually am less than $1 into her, and I am happy with that fast sale. This little horse took a little bit longer. It took about 6.5 months. It is a vintage cloisonne blue horse. I did put galloping pendant figurine with floral saddle design. So this one was listed back in March. So again, right around that 6-month point. And for jewelry, I'm okay with that. You know, it really is okay with me. This one I did have to send an offer out. I sent an offer out of $35. I was just a couple dollars in a costume lot. So it's about a $24 profit. And it's a really beautiful cloisonne piece. There are some cloisonne jewelry pieces that sell quite a bit higher. But this one here, and I'm not sure, I don't think that Lily Paris should have been in there. I don't think that should have been there. I don't know how that got there. I just saw that. So that was an extra picture thrown in, but this was a good sale, $35 and about 6 months to sell. I got a very, very big lot of nutcrackers, and this is one of them. I'm less than $5 in. This one did sell for full price of $35. Took 3 months to sell, and it is going to be a $24 profit. I bought, I want to say 50 to 75 of them in a big lot. I like selling nutcrackers, even if they're generic. Look, this one's a Walmart one. Still sold for 35 bucks. Nutcrackers Workshop. You can see the decapitated nutcracker there. But even the Walmart ones, people that collect nutcrackers want particular ones, and it's not going to matter if it's a Walmart one, if it is what they are looking for. Another fast sale here. This one sold in under a month. It is a antique brass cameo broocher pendant. It was black, and this one sold for a best offer of $21. This is from an online jewelry lot. I only have $2 into it, making it about a $15 profit. Very fast though on this one. And you can see here there are some spots somewhere. It is about 2.5 inches. Very heavy though, 43 grams. And a very, very quick sale. 4 months for this Ralph Lauren polo to sell, and it was a dollar thrift store buy. So very, very fast sale. This one's about a $26 profit. Watch for Ralph Lauren. I've left a couple behind here lately. I did get back to my thrifting videos. If you did not see, or if you don't know, I do have a second channel called Cat's Treasure Hunting. I will pop that up top for you. And I have a ton of clothing stores that have dollar clothes next to me. I am very, very lucky to have that, and I utilize it. So $1.35 is absolutely amazing, and it didn't take long to sell. This Marcasite piece is a little more of what I am used to, and that is that it took 10 months to sell. Sold for a best offer of 35 that I sent out. That is 30% off. So I only paid $5 for it. It is still going to be a $24 profit. And here you can see it was clearly marked. This one was actually marked Germany as well as sterling. And it's a beautiful piece. It's just that the demand for Marcasite has not been up for a while. There's always one that takes a very long time. And in this video, this is it. This one took over 2 years and 50% off. So it sold for $24. I only paid $5, so not horrible. It's still a $16 profit, but it took 2 years. This is something I still would pick up because I think they are so cool. It did say Haiti on the top of the box, so it was a little souvenir trinket box. I love these. I might have priced it a little too high, and that is why it took so long to sell. This petticoat I really thought would sell for more than what it did. And I accepted a best offer of $20. And it was a layered, really heavy, nice vintage petticoat. But it was a slow sales day. I got an offer of $20. I only paid $2 for it. So it's about a $13 profit. And again, on slow sales day, I will accept a lot of offers that I typically would not, just to try and get those sales into motion. And it's actually been really crazy lately. I will only have like $100 in sales at like 7 at night, and then I end up over 500. So it's been late night shoppers lately that are saving my days. When I found this little puppy at the thrift store for $5, I could not believe it. I only paid $5 for him, and he sold in 3 months. It's a gorgeous Jim Shore Labrador Retriever or Golden Retriever, and it is a $24 profit. It's actually pretty big, and I was just shocked because this is the first time I've ever found Jim Shore at a thrift store at a decent price. So you can see he's about 9.5 inches tall. No flaws on him. He was in excellent condition, and this was a really, really great thrift store find. I absolutely love finding coin pendants in my sterling lots, and that is where this one came from. I did pay $5 for this, so it's about a $27 profit. And you can see clearly it's a 1911 Barber dime coin, and it is sterling silver. Really, really neat. You can see the 1 dime on the back. The dime's not in that great of condition, but with my coin pendants, I prefer them with a little bit of wear because I feel like it dates them. And I like that little more rustic look personally on the coin pendants that I choose to wear. It seems like every video I have one item that sells super fast that I question myself if I price too low. And this would be that item. This one sold in less than a day. Full price, $39.99. It is an Indian bronze deity sculpture of Shiva and Parvati. This is of their marriage, handcrafted art. $40 sale, very fast. This thing was heavy. I underestimated for shipping. This thing was over 4 pounds. It was very, very heavy. I got this in an online estate auction lot and paid $5. And that is a pretty, I'm either at that $1 or $2 mark or $5 on a good majority of my items. So this one's a $27 profit, very fast. And again, it might have sold so fast because I underpriced it. We saw a few of these daguerreotype photos last week that sold fast. This one didn't sell as fast as the ones last week because they sold in like a day. This one sold in a week for $50. I paid $5. So this one is going to be about a $35 profit. Very, very fast. I absolutely love picking these up. I actually bid on some more and did not win them here in the last week, but I'm going to keep watching for them. I used to pick up a bunch of them and then I kind of got out of it. I get bored with things pretty easy, so I'll kind of flip flop and jump in between different categories just so I don't get overly disinterested in what I'm selling. Because our sales have been lower than what I am wanting, what I did on Sunday was I handpicked 2,000 items that had been listed over a year. This is one of them. You can see I put it on a 40% off sale along with other items. And this one sold very fast on that sale for $25. I picked this up for $5 originally at a thrift store. So it's still going to be a $16 profit, even with giving that 40% off. So if your sales are slow and you are like me and you have items that have been listed a long time, and you can see here, this one was stained. So I might have overpriced it just a little bit. But if you have those items that have been sitting there a year and you're thinking of redonating, try a 40, 50, even 75% off sale before donating them back, because getting some of your initial investment back is better than getting none. This Disney bag went round and round and round with low offers, and it hadn't even been listed for a month. And I got a ton of them, and I just kind of held firm on this one because I knew that I could get close to that asking price. I don't think 25 on a brand new Disney bag is an unrealistic price. So I sent out 10% of $22.49. It sold for that. I got this in an online bag lot. I paid about $5 for it. So it's about a $14 profit, but sold very fast. So you can see here it was originally 25. So I had it priced at what it was priced at in the store, but I do not believe this one is available in stores anymore. So it could have sold for a little bit more, but from my research, it was selling right at that $20, $25 mark. And again, I held steady because I didn't want to drop down what I was willing to take when it had only been listed for a week. Small belt. It is a size 28, and it is a floral etched Western belt. And I do not see a picture of this. We're going to scroll through, but the back of this belt said Linda. I saw it when I shipped it out. It sold for $20, and I only paid a few dollars. It was in a lot. It's only about a $10 profit, but I am wondering if we show, yeah, it shows it here with the tape measure, but somebody might have missed that. So I am wondering if this belt is going to come back to me. Another of the really long tail, and it's another linen item. So this one took 2 years to sell. Super cute chickens. They are day of the week towels. Unfortunately, we were missing Thursday. We did not have Thursday in here. So $20 sale. I only paid a few dollars. It's about a $12 profit. Took forever. Here you can see the rest on Sunday, wash on Monday, iron on Tuesday. We just didn't have Thursday, unfortunately. And you can see there were some marks on these. And the buyer actually messaged me and said, hey, I didn't notice it wasn't all 7 days. Can I cancel if you haven't shipped? But we had already shipped. So this one, I'm not sure. This one could possibly come back as well. This little Longaberger basket took 3 years to sell. So if you are new and you're thinking everything sells super fast, a lot of times that is not the case unless you have done research and make sure it's a very popular item. So I originally paid $8 for this. It did sell full price 3 years later, but took forever. $28 profit for me. And I know a lot of people redonate, they go through their inventory. I have plenty of space. So for me, it is listed and forget it. If I have put the time into listing it, 9.9 times out of 10, I'm going to let it sit there until it eventually sells. Some beautiful Vendome screwback earrings. These are amber colored rhinestones. I did put MCM Hollywood Starburst. Sold for a best offer on $40. I paid $5. So these are about a $32 profit. And you can see they did have Vendome clearly stamped on the back. Very, very pretty vintage clip-on earrings. And 6 to 7 months I am okay with my jewelry items. Very fast sale on this Lemax Spooky Town animated jack-o'-lantern decor. And I'm just looking here and it says I do not accept returns, which is interesting. I'm going to need to look on the rest of mine because that's interesting. So I sold it for $29.99. It was originally $25 at Kmart. And this one does not have the hanger. And I do have that in the description. So here you can see it with the pumpkins, and it again was missing that hanger, unfortunately, because otherwise it would have been worth about $50. And this one sold in only 2 weeks. Another item moved by my sale. This is a vintage chainmail 1920s mesh purse. This one's pretty plain though, just a silver, no flowers, no anything pretty on it. I did 40% off, so it sold for $47.99. I paid about $10 for this one, so it's only about a $30 profit, but that's not bad. However, it took over a year to sell. So you can see the photos here, and it is overall in pretty good shape. It looks like it did have some kind of pattern on it, but over time, unfortunately, that wore off. This is an American vintage 14 karat gold plated leaf link necklace. I did put signed and evening and cocktail, and this one sold in about a month and a half. So it did not take very long, and it sold for $35. So $5 under asking, and I paid about $5 for it. So it's a $24 profit. And here you can see, we do show the gold 14 karat, and there is that Americ, and the length as well as the weight of this one. This was a really, really beautiful necklace. I'm trying to see here. I'm pretty sure this was gold plated. Wouldn't that be crazy if I sold a gold necklace? I'm pretty sure this one was plated, and it was a pretty fast sale. We are moving over to Mercari. So this first Mercari sale was a $14.99 sale on a bandana, and this one I paid $1 for at a garage sale, so it's about a $12 profit. Mercari's fees are very, very low, and I got this with a bunch of Harley Davidson bandanas, but I thought the graphics on this were pretty cool. I like selling bandanas. Some bandanas can be pretty valuable. You see the skull and crossbones as well as the flames on this one, and excellent sale. It sold in just a few months over on Mercari. Next is this gorgeous vintage Damascene Spain brass butterfly brooch or pin. This one sold very fast in under a week on Mercari. I did put brass twice, though. A little bit of waste of keyword space there. Accepted a best offer of $21.24. I only paid $5, so this one's about a $12 to $13 profit. I love Damascene stuff, but it typically, unfortunately, is not overly valuable. I feel like it looks like it's valuable, but then I research it and I'm like, oh no. So I typically will only get these pieces if I find them in costume lots where I'm only paying between 2 to 3. Sometimes I'll go up to 5. Now we are moving over to Etsy, and this first one sold very fast. This is a vintage old pawn silver pendant, And I did put for a necklace, 2 Sleeping Beauty turquoise stones. It had a $50 price tag on it. I sold it right at $50. So here you can see beautiful, beautiful pendant. It was on that card. And this I got in an online estate auction. And I did pay up for this. I paid about $10. So it's going to be about a $32 profit. Sale over on Etsy. This is a really cool piece. So this was brass and wood. It was like a little snuffer poison perfume bottle and sold for $50. I only paid $5. So this one's about a $36 profit and it sold very fast as well. So with Etsy, I try and stick to the items around the $40 plus mark, and they have to be vintage to be on Etsy. That is the other qualification. And so most of my Etsy sales you'll see are going to be right around the $50 mark, but I'm going to show you, I did put a couple of other things on that were a little lower cost. This one is not much below, but it is a little bit. This is a Celtic cross in marcasite. Didn't sell after very long on Etsy. So maybe I need to put all my marcasite over on Etsy. Sold for $45. I paid $5, $32 profit on this one. I love picking up marcasite. I continue to pick it up, even though I know it's not overly popular. This one was light, only 3 grams, and a great sale over on Etsy. I'm not sure why I put this one on Etsy, because I typically don't put the $25 items, and that's because Etsy is 20 cents per 4 months and it just keeps rolling. So if it takes a long time, I feel like I'm better off with those $45, $50 items. But it sold on Etsy and it didn't take very long. So this is a vintage Peter Watson studio handmade Victorian bubble glass courting couple. It is not a courting couple, though. It's 2 ladies. I totally screwed up the title on this one just a little bit. It's just 2 ladies talking. I don't know how I missed that. Apparently, I was going a little too fast. Here you can see the handmade, made in the USA Peter Watson studio. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece, but it is not a courting couple. Is a gorgeous Juliana, and I was so sad when I comped it out. They really do only sell for $40. It did sell in under a week on Etsy, though. Beautiful, beautiful piece here, and you can see the construction here. So I'm trying to see if I can show you. I don't see any of the figure 8s on this one. So the figure 8s are on a lot of Julianas on the back of them. And so you're able to identify them using that. This one I identified using Google Lens and doing a little bit of research and digging, because no Juliana pieces are marked. They originally came with paper tags. Another very, very fast sale on Etsy, right at that $50 point. And this one is a costume piece. This is not precious metals, no sterling, no gold, not even gold plated. It's a vintage 1960s cluster cocktail ring, Ronte of Hollywood. It was size 8, so it was a good size for being a vintage ring. Sold in under a week. Very, very fast. This is a beautiful ring in the original box. You can see here it was a size 8. There is the size 8 and the signature on the ring as well. Beautiful, beautiful piece. And again, not precious metals, and still sold for $50. We are going to wrap things up with Poshmark, and I do have quite a few to show you. So first is this Ralph Lauren lamb's wool faux fur collar. This is size 6. This one sold for $38. Payout was for $26. I paid about $5 for this in an online auction lot, so I made a $21 profit. I love Ralph Lauren, and the green labels I have done okay with. I think the purple and the black are a little more valuable. I did have this one for a while, so I was happy that this one sold over on Poshmark. This is a really, really neat piece. This is an antique Tibetan Vinshu and Garuda brooch. The Hindu goddess sold for $40 on Posh in just 2 days. Payout was $32. This is another costume piece. This is not precious metals. I paid $5, so $27 profit. And she is just so cool. Look at the little face there. And it's like she is meditating. Definitely an older piece. Really, really neat, and a very, very fast sale over on Poshmark. Next on Posh is another Ralph Lauren, and this is a Ralph Lauren sport cable knit shawl. And this one sold for $34. Payout was $24. I paid about $5, so it's about a $19 profit. This one sold faster than the other one, and I think it's because it was a large, where that other one was a size 8, so it was a little bit smaller. I tend to do better with larger sizes on the majority of items. Last for Poshmark is this fluff ladybug coin purse. Really, really cute. And me and this buyer went round and round. I had it priced at 30, and I just did not want to go that low because I saw sold comps and it was new. So it sold for 24. Payout was 19. I only paid a couple dollars, so it's a $17 profit, and it sold in under a week. It sold very, very fast. Super cute ladybug. If I thought I would use a little coin purse like this, I would have kept it because it is just super, super cute. But I do not think that I will use it, so I did let it go. And I held my ground, though, with the buyer and ended up getting 24 for this in under a week. All right, my friends, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed. I feel like a lot of these items you can definitely find lower cost, and the majority of them did sell fast. There always are those few that take years and years to sell. But I don't want to hide those from you. I don't want to make you think that everything sells really fast, because that simply is not the case unless you do research and are very strict about what you're picking up. I am not. I pick up what I like. I pick up what I love because I have a lot of space. And I love buying online auction lots, which comes with some stuff that sells fast and some takes forever to sell. So you got to decide your business model, decide what works for you. I hope this has helped you learn some things. I really do appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up, share with your friends, and I will see you on the next one. You got to say bye. We're leaving. Now you got to get in so we can see you. I already looked there. You got to look there and say bye. Bye, guys.